Hey, this is Rorlins the Dwarf, back from the old Elf and Dwarf Podcast, coming into the new age with video. And I thought we'd take a quick peek at one of my games using my priest deck. We'll see how we do. Before we start, let me show you what we've got. And I'm relatively new to the game. I've been playing about a month, so I don't have a ton of cards yet. So this is what I'm working with. I'm going to quickly run down why I have the cards I've got, and we'll see how it does out there in a casual game. Classic direct damage, some buffing, my Northshire Cleric for card draw, my removals. I'm running with a couple of Geomancers and Magi to help beef up some of my spells, especially this Holy Fire down here. I'm still not completely convinced it's a great move. Thought Steal has proved to be a pretty good situational card. And my Dark Scales Healers I've added back in because they're kind of like a Holy Nova but with some oomph. And again, I'm trying to use them to power that Northshire Cleric. And then I got turned on to the Venture Company Mercenary recently because it's a cheap drop that basically has a built-in taunt. They can ignore it, but with 7 damage, it's a tough one to just ignore. And for only 5 mana, it seems like a pretty good investment. I'm sure somebody right there is already typing in the comments that was a terrible decision, that card is horrible and should just be dusted. And you're probably not wrong. But, and you can see I'm still kind of playing around with the whole ranking thing. Let's play a casual game. I usually find these tend to be better right now because in the current meta, it seems like there are a lot of people playing in the 20 through 16 ranking that are packing 4 or 5 legendaries, and I can't compete with that yet. So let's see what we get here. We're the opponent. You know, I was hoping to go up against a monk maybe, but we'll take a worthy opponent. It's a warlock deck, so I'm going to expect him to be coming out pretty hard and pretty fast. Hang on to the Holy Smite, hang on to the Power Word Shield, let's throw him back in. Yeah, that's not going to be useful till later. But hopefully I can get some mileage out of it.
Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to the internet. So, nothing to play. Let's see what we got. The good news is I've got 2 good early game removals going on, so I should be okay with whatever he throws out at first, unless it's something I can't target. Faceless Manipulator, that would have been a lot more useful later. I'm not really getting a good opening card draw here. I probably should have mulliganed that shield, but I was hoping I could get a little more out of it. I'd at least pick up a cleric or another low card to help me go. Now that's one downside with that 3 health, 4 health now. I'm not going to be able to drop him out with 1. And I am falling prey heavily to all of my late game cards are coming out. Now, so this is probably a wash. In fact, there's a strong temptation just to go ahead and concede because there's a pretty good chance without getting something in play, he's going to outrush me here in a couple of turns. We'll give him a chance and we'll see what he comes up with. Maybe I can pull something out of this still. Probably not. Well, at least now I can see him. Okay, there we go. Now we can start doling out some pain. So take him out. I don't have enough to yank him, but let's see if we can get another card in our hands here for next turn. There we go. There's that cleric. That should help a little bit defray some of the pain and suffering we're going through. Because at least next turn I can toss her out and I can heal up and maybe get a decent card draw out of that. Plus I'll be sitting at 5. So if you pull something crazy, I can skip that and faceless it and see if I can get a little bit further on, especially with this Shadow Word Death hanging around. And you could do that, which unfortunately takes away a card I could damage and then re-heal. And that sets me back a little bit on my plan here. Let's see here. Nothing worth facelessing yet. Not quite far enough down, so let's go ahead and throw him. Now I could throw the cleric, but I'm going to hang on to her for another turn because there's something to heal, and I really want that card draw because I am really hurting right now for something to help me out. And right now, I'm not too threatened by that golem, but I also know that warlocks can dole out a ton fast, especially if he's got a couple of chargers in there. Yeah, now see, I only have one Sun Fury Protector right now, and I don't have any Argus Defenders. And this is one of those places where I do feel a little bit like the game's gone a bit pay to win, because these cards are just Butch. Because now he's created a wall I can't get through, and that was done for 2 mana. So, and then the Argus Defender I think is 4, and it buffs. So let's see what I can do to get a little help here. I'll go ahead and throw him that direction. Which, yes, I know does crib. At least it gets rid of the taunt. I'm going to pop her over there. This will at least get me a card draw, and it'll get me a 4/5 creature on the board. That should help me a little bit start to pound away here. Because that's my hope right now. I'm kind of also hoping he's burned a lot of his better cards early, which is doubtful. These are not uncommon. You'll see a lot of these guys. I also tend to think the more you see of a card in every kind of deck, the more you have to kind of feel like you need to have it in yours because it's just that good of a card. Now there's it, Defender of Argus. Once again, see it's a card everybody packs. It's rare, so it's expensive to craft. It's not something you can just do for 1 pack worth of cards. And it's not only does it give them the taunt, which is a good slower and defender, it also gives them a buff for attacking, making it one of the cards you just pretty much have to have in your deck. He also has full control of the pace now because he's completely locked the board with taunts. One thing I've got going for me is with that Magi on the board, I can clear it pretty easily with that Holy Nova now. And so I can say, let's kind of juggle this out a bit. Bang for buck. We'll go that way with that. This way with that. And then we will knock that out. And see, that's why I keep those around, is because it does make my direct damages have that little extra oomph. And for a 4-drop, there's a lot of other 4 mana cards I could put in, but I actually kind of like that little extra bang there. Hogger's got some punch to him. And I guess I was wrong. I was expecting this guy to be playing a rush deck, but he's definitely playing a slow tempo one now. The good news is that I can pretty much take control of the board now. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that Hogger for myself. And then my goal is to knock out his Hogger. So let's zap him. Like that. I want to keep him alive, so we'll use him to get rid of the Void Hunter. And then we'll get rid of his Hogger. And now I've got my own taunt machine. This is one of the nice things about playing Priest if you don't have a lot of cards, is there are a pretty good collection of cards you can pick up with Mind Control and other ones to kind of help defray the damage when you're playing against guys that are packing gold legendaries. He's also had demons in his deck, I'm guessing, because the Worthless Imp is what you get when you play that. He played Sense Demons, and it looks like he had run out of demons in his deck, but at least give him a 1/1 to pad the board out a bit. And that makes some sense. Now I also want to try to get some advantage going here. Holy Fire's good, but it's expensive. That 6 mana drop, it doesn't always feel like it's worth the cost. So what I want to do here is I'm going to knock out that Void Hunter over there. I really don't want to risk my blockers, and I don't want to risk my generator, because those are what are going to probably keep me alive for a while. So let's go ahead and I'm going to burn it while I got the mana. And so if I pop either of these guys to get some more oomph out of it, I'm not going to be able to play it. So let's go ahead and fill the board up. And we'll see if I get lucky, and he lets me keep any of these guys on the board next turn. Because then right now it's packing 8. And I've got some good defenders, so he's going to have to use some direct damage spells to take those out. Feels like I've got a pretty good shot going now. We'll see what he does with this. Now, again, when I talk about these cards that everybody's playing now, since Naxxramas came out, you've seen Rubian Eggs everywhere. Every deck's got them. It's a 2-drop, 2-mana drop to put it on the board, and you're almost guaranteed soon with 1 or 2 combos you can get a 4/4 out of the deal. Now, the catch is you do have to have a way of triggering that, that damage effect. And yeah, and he can read the writing on the wall. He's not getting the cards to top me. So, victory for the priest. Before I leave out of that, now if I'd been a little longer here, I would have been stuck deciding between whether or not I was going to blow my Holy Fire or if I was going to pop out that Mercenary. And again, that Mercenary at that point, I've got all the minions I want on the board anyway. So I put out for 5 mana cost, I've got a guy out there doing 7/6. It's a pretty solid card at that point, as long as you're playing a relatively slow deck. Alright, well that was a lot of fun. Hope you guys had a good time hanging out. And in the comments, let me know what you think.